Okay, good morning students. I think I can start now. So let me share my screen. Today we will be talking
Morning, ma'am.
good morning. Today we will be talking about one of the latest topic in biology, especially biotechnology. And so which is still in its very much nascent state. So people are researching in this field and it is year module 4. Okay. So as you can see over here, there is a new term, mechanobiology, which many of you may have heard of it, right? Mechanobiology is a very new topic, and recently, in the past 10 years or 15 years, this subject came into existence, and how the things are evolving, we will be seeing, and especially from the point of view of a biologist, how the how the various concepts of mechanics is being implicated or implied in the field of biology, and what actually machines do or biological machines do in our body, right? So mechanobiology is a field at the forefront of biomedical investigation, especially for the field of biomedical research. This kind of investigations are very much important from current scenario, where we need to do certain things, or sometimes in case of certain diseases, we need to go for certain treatment where the normal macroscopic tools like these scissors and all those things যেগুলো আমরা আর কি একটা dissection করি যখনই আমরা OT তে whenever we enter into the OT for the process, there we do some kind of dissection, right? So these are in the macroscopic world. We have certain scissors, we have certain tweezers, all like that. In the macroscopic world, that thing we can view it actually, right? For performing that uh, surgery, we can take help from certain tools which are visible to our naked eye and that are very big in size. But what happens whenever we go into the domain of biology, that is of the order of few micrometer, or say suppose if you go and do a operation or a surgery in the case of a DNA, you want to operate something there, you want to perform some kind of operation in a DNA level. So you are basically working in the field of nanometer domain. So how you are going to perform that particular surgery, or how you are, what kind of tools you are using to do the surgery in a DNA or a RNA. So which are in the range of nanometer domain, right? So there we want certain tools, we want certain instruments that are able to perform the action over there. So the normal scissor, the normal tweezers, or normal things which we do in a OT, that won't be possible to hand. Those things won't be doing the actual surgery over there. So there we want to take help of certain molecules or some kind of elements that can go into that level. So obviously the molecule or the element that I'm talking about, that lies in the range of nanometer, because in order to penetrate that nanometer domain, you need to go there, you need to do the surgery over there. So that is the main thing that is we are taking into consideration in this particular subject, that is mechanobiology, where we will be talking about how the nanobots or the nanorobots, they are doing a very they are performing very well in these kinds of diseases or infections, in these kinds of treatments, right? Okay, so how these nanorobots or nanobots are being designed to do some kind of changes in your body, maybe in the genetic level. Okay, so mechanobiology is a very recent field, আর এটা তোমরাই ফার্স্ট পড়ছো because AICTE এটা নতুন সিলেবাসে দিয়েছে, as that's why module 4 is a little bit tricky, and it's very much a research topic nowadays, and still many problems are still not solved. Also, it's under research. So you can see over here, mechanobiology or there are two terms, biomechanics আরেকটা হচ্ছে mechanobiology. So biomechanics largely concerns the study of physical effects and interactions induced by biological activity. So there are certain forces that are being imparted into the ground when you are running. So This is one example they have cited where you study the physical effects and the interaction that are happening due to these kinds of biological activity. Obviously, your observation point is the cell or the cellular level. We are not taking into consideration the macroscopic world. We are in the microscopic world. Now, mechanobiology is basically the biological response when a mechanical stimulus is applied. So, you you give an input in the form of any kind of mechanical energy or mechanical stimulus, you are applying it to the biological system, and in return what kind of response you are getting, right? So this is all that is being dealt with in the field of mechanobiology. It talks about the biological response that you are getting from the cell or maybe the biomolecule after a mechanical stimulus has been applied over there. Okay, so mechanobiological effects can be observed at the scale of an organ or an organism, and they are fundamentally the result of changes brought by the cells in response to the mechanical stimuli. Now, mechanical stimuli can be of various kinds. Okay, so there is these are nothing but sort of research paper because I can't suggest any particular book. These are very new topics. You can see over here. This is not a book, rather a research paper that I am presenting here, and I have highlighted the important things that you need to study from here. Now, talking about the mechanical stimulus, Tanmani, if you draw analogy from the macroscopic world, so mechanical stimulus can be done if you consider some kind of machines, right? Machines or what they do, they perform some mechanical work, and they at the expense of that mechanical energy, some amount of work or some kind of thing has or output we get, right? Maybe in the form of some work, whatever it is. So if we compare mechanical effects, so in terms of biology, what kind of mechanical effects that we can do? We can talk about certain machines in our body that do some functions, right? So you know lot of thing about those molecular machines that regularly perform tremendous amount of work in your body. So we will be talking about those molecular machines that are working inside a cell, and we are not talk. We will try to draw the analogy from the macroscopic world. पहले within the cell, what a molecular machine is doing, we will try to draw analogy in the macroscopic world. What the same kind of machines are doing in the surrounding world, right? So we will try to deal with that. So can you see over here? At a PPT share করলাম molecular machines.
Yes, ma'am, visible.
So far we have studied or we have seen in our surrounding world, lot of machines are being regularly used, and various kinds of work is being done uh, for our convenience, right? So molecular machines are a little bit different. How they are performing within the cell, that we will talk about. So they can be there are certain molecules or biomolecules that can act as packers, movers, assemblers, shredders. So these terms are very much well associated with the people who are studying mechanical engineering. So some of the machines can be used as packers, some of them can be used as movers. That is, they are transporting some kind of material from one side to other side. So there are some molecules or biomolecules, maybe in the form of protein or enzyme or vesicle, whatever it is, they are involved in transport of the molecules from one area to other area of the cell. So before the start of these or before the invention of these big molecule machines in our surroundings in the macroscopic world, from the very beginning of the life on earth, there were existence of these molecular machines because cells evolved with these kind of intricate machines, right? So now, this particular scientist, Marcelo, he suggested, and it's a very recent paper, as you can see, 2000. I have given here the reference 2000. That is 2000 সালে কিন্তু this particular subject came into existence when people were able to identify the molecular machines present inside cell. So what he said, nature in order to carry out the marvelous operations in animals and plants has been pleased to construct their organized bodies, because in order to perform work inside a cell efficiently, they or nature brought together all the molecules so that the work can be done in an efficient way in the form of very large number of machines which are of necessity, made up of extremely minute parts, so shaped and situated such as to form a marvelous organ. So they assemble the small molecules, they assemble to form bigger particles which are known as organs, and then that assemble to form the organism. So like that, which this kind of assembling of smaller particles into larger unit, that is very much present from the very beginning of the existence of life on earth. Now we are talking about machines in a broader aspect, from engineering or from a mechanical engineer perspective. We have designed cars, we have designed big industries where many instruments are working, many machines are working simultaneously. We have this centrifugation unit in our lab, autoclave. If these are nothing but some kind of instruments are working, machines are working over here, right? So the same thing has been inscribed here inside the cell, but at a very at the beginning of life on earth. So nature has evolved beautifully into assembling of small molecules to bigger elements, right? So the entire cell can be viewed as a factory that contains an elaborate network of interlocking assembly lines, each of which is composed of a set of large proteins, sometimes known as machines, right? So this is a very common diagram which is self-explanatory. You can see over here, whenever we are getting giving some input command into a machine, we will get some kind of output, right? Similarly, if that machine is a motor kind of thing, so we will get a mechanical output. So we are giving some input command, and accordingly, if it is being acted on a motor, then that motor will give you a mechanical output. This is the region what mechanobiology deals with. Okay, so it mainly deals with certain motor proteins. Okay, so that perform various mechanical activities in your body. So natural nanomachines within a living cell, so we are talking about nanomachines, that is very small machines that are inbuilt in the human body or in any cell. Eukaryotic bolo, prokaryotic bolo, eukaryotic is much advanced. So these nanomachines, before the development of these industries, and nowadays we are talking about industry 4 or 5, whatever it is, before this revolution, every machines, motors that were discovered, from the very beginning of life, we have nanomachines within our cell. So designs of molecular machines have been perfected by nature over millions of years ago by the principle of evolutionary biology. These things we know. So what is the mechanism and how it is still evolving itself, and how the body evolved for efficient functioning of various uh, systems. So that is the main question: how our cell is doing so much amount of work, but with nobody is able to detect that. Nowadays we are also having an advancement in instrumentations, right? So there are huge or sophisticated instruments that can detect these kinds of motor proteins that are working silently within your cell. But with the advent of time and technology, these things will be more clear. So understanding these mechanisms through experiments, first we need to do experiments and also some kind of theoretical work you need to do, right? So designs using natural components extracted from living cells. So if you want to perform experiment, you need to design certain natural components that are being extracted from living cells. Or if you do theoretical work, then you need to design using artificial components synthesized in the laboratory. So these are the two ways you can perform, or you choose some mechanobiology research problem, and you these are the two ways that you can approach. Either you go in a wet lab method, that is you perform certain experiments, test tube, or you can go for a dry lab method. Dry lab মানে হচ্ছে you took something in an computer, you do some kind of theoretical work or simulation kind of thing, and you perform the experiment in a dry lab basis. So artificial nanomachines for practical applications are still being used or is in its nascent stage. We are still developing these kinds of concepts. All the design and manufacturing completed so far have succeeded only in establishing proof of principle. That is, suppose in mechanobiology, some kind of hypothesis has been put forward by some famous scientists, and it is only a proof of principle. So, in order to prove that hypothesis, you need to do certain experiments, either a dry lab experiment or a wet lab experiment. So overall, if you are proving that hypothesis, and if it is correct one, if the hypothesis proved to be a correct one, so we call it as a proof of principle. But still, that principle is not valid because it is not commercially developed for the betterment of the human human society, or whatever, for the betterment of human beings. That particular concept has still not been launched into the market. So it's still in its nascent stage. We can go for only the small prototype kind of thing, but for commercially designing that thing, that will take a lot of time. So natural nanomachines within a living cell, understanding mechanism through experiments as well as modeling, these things will be done. So what kind of machines we are talking about? We are talking about molecular motors, especially the cytoskeleton motors and nucleic acid based motors. Motors mainly comprises of proteins or enzymes kind of thing that are mainly involved in doing various functions, right? So as the name suggests, motor mane hocche there is some kind of mechanical work involved. That means these proteins move from one place to other in either in the form of packers and movers, that is, they are transporting some kind of information from one place to the other, or transporting some kind of cargo from one place to the other. Cargo mane ki? Cargo mane hocche we are transporting some material, right, from suppose nucleus to cytoplasm, or suppose cytoplasm to nucleus, whatever it is. So these proteins, we call it as the motor proteins. These motor proteins are mainly the movers and packers. They are transporters. They are transporting the cargo from one place to the another place. That is, from suppose from any uh, area within the cell to a target area within the cell only, right? So we will be talking about the mechanics involved. What kind of proteins are involved, structures of those proteins, কিছুটা তোমাদের মাইক্রোবায়োলজিতে পড়ে নিয়েছো তোমরা. Some of the topics have been touched like cilia flagella, these kind of things you have studied, the detailed structure of cilia flagella. I think in your class 12 you have a detailed structure analysis of cilia and flagella, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we will not do the details only, but we will not go into the details of cilia flagella structure, but that is there in your syllabus. I assume that you know those things. পরীক্ষায় কিন্তু আসতে পারে বলে দিলাম আমি. So we will be talking about certain proteins like actin, myosin, how they are performing their function in the cell. So examples of molecular motors, first is the cytoskeleton motors. So cytoskeleton of a cell, you can see over here in the picture a cell. Cytoskeleton has been depicted, required for mechanical strength and intracellular transportation. As you can see over here, this is a বইটা নিশ্চয়ই, you have this book na, Bruce Alberts, এই book পাওয়া যায় তো?
ম্যাম এটা কি বললেন আরেকবার বলুন।
This Alberts book, you have this book na?
না, আই গেস দেখতে হবে।
So this is a very famous book.
ম্যাম আপনার কাছে আছে?
দেখতে হবে, আমি কখনো পড়িনি সেল বায়োলজি, এগুলো তো ওদের পিটি আর এসএবিএম আমি পড়ানো, তাহলে বোধহয় সেল বায়োলজিতে পেতে পারি.
এটা মলিকুলার বায়োলজি তো?
হ্যাঁ, ইটস ভেরি গুড বুক. আমি জানি না এই কপি পাওয়া যায় কিনা, ইউ ক্যান সার্চ ফর ইট.
না,
সো
আমাদের কাছে সেলের মলের বই নেই,
ওকে,
আমরা নোটস থেকেই পড়ি। ম্যাম আপনার কাছে থাকলে দিয়ে দেবেন তো?
ঠিক আছে, দেখছি.
ইয়েস
মনে
ম্যাম।
হয় ব্রুস অ্যালবার্টসের ই কপি হয় রে, অ্যালবার্টসের ই কপি হয়, ব্রুস অ্যালবার্টস ই কপি হয়. আমি কখনো খুঁজিনি, আমি তো পড়াই না সেল বায়োলজি, পিডিএফ. Okay. So this is the cytoskeleton of a cell. You can see it's required for mechanical strength as well as for intracellular transportation. These kinds of things are involved. Cytoskeleton motor transport system comprises of a motor, track as well as fuel. If you compare it with our macroscopic world in real life situation, what happens if you compare same thing we are also taking into consideration. So in order to transport one thing from one place to other place, you need to take a help of a motor, need to have a track as well as a fuel, right? So if you consider the track with respect to the microscopic system, you can have this track in the form of microtubules. You have heard of the term microtubule, right? Microtubules.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so microtubules, these are nothing but assembled protein structures. As you can see, you have alpha beta dimers that are being assembled. They assemble in the form of protofilament, and these clusters of protein, they are nicely stacked together. You can see the diameter of the tubule is of 25 nanometer. As you can see over here, they assemble and they act as the track over which the transport will be happening, right? So you have a motor which will carry your cargo on this track. So this is the path that is being provided. Okay. Now cytoskeletal proteins, cytoskeletal motors are nothing but they are some kind of proteins. As you can see in this picture, this is the actual image of the protein that you see over here. We have kinesin proteins, which is nothing but a complex structure, as you can see, comprising of alpha helix and beta sheet structure. So these spiral are the alpha helix and this is the beta sheet structure comprising of head A, head B kind of thing, and all these amino acid residues are being labeled L8B, L10 is the leucine amino acid. So this is the entire X-ray crystallographic diffraction pattern of the protein that has been obtained and has been simulated to give you this kind of structure. So this is a kind of motor protein, as you can see, the actual structure. But in cartoon, we represent it like this. So you have the motor domain. This is mainly this motor domain has been enlarged over here. We call it as the dynein, and we have a stalk like structure. All of these are nothing but some kind of proteins that are being associated to form complex structure to perform complex functions. Okay, so you have these motor domains that will be carrying the load or the cargo যেই materialটা transfer করতে হবে, that material can be a vesicle, that material can be any kind of protein or can be any kind of antigen or can be any antigen বলছি antibody, whatever it is, it's a load that needs to be carried from one place to the other place, right? So this provides the motor domain that will be basically that will be basically carrying your cargo, and this is the stock, and this is known, this is the structure of the myosin. Similarly, we have kinesin. So there are three molecular motors, you can see, kinesin, myosin and dynein, and they are all involved in some kind of mechanical function. So they are mainly involved in transporting of your cargo from one place to the other place, and they are nothing but some kind of proteins. And you can see over here they are a complex association of proteins. So many kinds of proteins, they come together to form complex structure with which perform complex functions. So as you can see over here, cytoskeleton motor proteins can act as porters, can act as rowers. If you draw the analogy with your macroscopic world, porters, they carry something over here on their head. In this particular picture, as you can see, they are carrying some load over their head. Similarly, in this picture, it is the microtubule structure. So as you can see, microtubule structure ta কিরকম হচ্ছে এই যে microtubular structure that has been animated over here. So microtubules are mainly important part of the cytoskeleton, and they are mainly involved during that mitosis. তোরা পড়েছিস নিশ্চয়ই centriole formation, spindle formation, microtubule, they come together and they during mitosis it plays a very dominant role. So microtubule, this is the microtubule, which is nothing but an association of the protein. And you can see over here how the motor protein, they are just doing the work of transport. Transport of what? This is the vesicle which is being transported. So microtubules, over the surface of microtubules, these motor domain, they are carrying the cargo over its head, which in this case the cargo is a vesicle, and it is walking down the track, which is the microtubule. এত অব্দি বোঝা গেছে?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so they are the motor proteins, kinesin, myosin, whatever it is, they perform this coating job. You can see over here, a manushta, it is carrying some kind of load from one place to other, and here is the this paper has been accepted in the famous journal Science in the year 2003. You can see over here, it's a very unique discovery that nature has already given in our system, where you can see how the motor proteins are walking down the track in the form of a microtubule, which is the track over here, and it is walking down that lane, right? So this is how the entire motor proteins, they perform the work silently within your body. Now, this was all about cytoskeleton. Within the cell কি হচ্ছে, cytoskeleton কি হচ্ছে. Now we are talking about nucleic acid based motors, right? So nucleic acid, this is a very common diagram you came across in your junior classes, as you can see. Central dogmas, DNA to RNA to protein, all of them are being dominated by some important enzymes like RNA pol, and then there is ribosome. So these are also molecular motors. You already know the structure of these enzymes, or what these biomolecules. You know the structures, a detailed structure. You have studied it in your junior class, but now you are looking it from the perspective of a mechanobiologist. How a mechanobiologist look into these kinds of proteins, right? So what you see over here, RNA pol is a protein that works on a DNA strand. Similarly, ribosome works on a RNA strand, right? So you can see over here with real time, this is a microscopic image, electron microscopic image. As you can see, this is not a light microscopy. Simple microscopy তে কোনোদিন আমরা DNA RNA দেখতে পারবো না. So you can see over here the long thread of DNA has been shown, over which the protein synthesis, or the mRNA, sorry, mRNA synthesis is being done. So this is the actual electron microscopic image, where the scale is shown. zero point 0.5 micron is this much size. So you can understand what is the size over here from this scale. And this is the animated version that has been shown. So you have a DNA over which RNA pol just works like a motor, and in the process mRNA is being synthesized, right? And from there we also get similarly we can also get a concept of protein synthesis, right? So these are all associated motor proteins, that are performing their work inside the cell. Now, RNA polymerase is a sometimes referred to as a mobile workshop, because DNA to RNA, with the help of RNA polymerase, it's a motor that moves along the DNA track, decodes the genetic message, polymerizes RNA using DNA as a template, and this is the structure of the RNA polymerase. So these are all X-ray diffractions. The crystallographic studies of that has been done to decode the structure of RNA pol, and for this he obtained the Nobel Prize. You see, he is a chemist, but he is working on a biological problem. What he is working, he tried to determine the structure of RNA pol, and it's a protein which looks like this. You can see over here the various subunits of the protein, which are playing important role in the binding, DNA binding. So you have a zipper, you have a clamp head that is actually working, that is holding onto the strand of the DNA, like that. So there are various domains on this big protein which are doing some kind of specific function. Similarly, we have the ribosome, which is also doing a mechanical work. mRNA to protein with the help of ribosome, a motor that moves along the mRNA track, decodes the genetic message, and polymerizes protein using mRNA as a template. So this is the mRNA. This is the ribosome unit that has been decoded. The structure has been decoded. Now, some of the fundamental questions on mechanisms of molecular motor. So, just now you saw certain cartoon, how on the surface of a microtubule that motor protein is kinesin and all those proteins are working, right? So size, they are all in the nanometer. So if some kind of problem happens in this nano domain, so you won't be able to do any surgery out there, right? Because surgery is being done on macroscopically you perform surgery on organs. But now, due to a defect that has been caused in these nano regions, nano domain area, your instrument or the tools need to be in the nano domain also, right? In order to perform any surgery in these kinds of nuclear level or cytoplasmic level, in order to perform any treatment, you need to use tools that can enter into those regions. So that's why technology is also evolving so that bigger amount of tools can be accommodated in smaller areas so that you can enter into the intricate portions of your cell. So you can see over here we are talking about nanometers where force is order of piconewton. Force এর concept কেন আসলো we will see. So force is of the order of piconewton. So first question is the mechanism of molecular motor identical to those of their macroscopic counterparts? No, absolutely not. We cannot compare the macroscopic world with the microscopic world. Why? Because the microscopical things that we are talking about here in the cellular level, which is very much far from equilibrium, they are made up of soft matter. Okay, so Newton's law and all those laws of mechanics, they are acting on not on the soft matter. They have been taken into consideration point mass, point charge, everything point particle. But here we are talking about soft matter where different rules, different laws are valid. Also, the dominant forces are non-inertial. So now we are applying the kinetics or the rules that we have learned in the Newtonian mechanics. We are trying to apply those rules over here, and we are seeing that we are failing in the analysis process because so Thomson, what he quoted over here, gravitation is forgotten in these particular regions because in the first module we have studied that biomolecules are held together by weaker forces or non-covalent interactions, right? So here a completely different, there is no concept of gravitational. We are completely dealing with some other kinds of forces, which is what viscosity of the liquid. We are dealing with the viscous material over here, the extracellular matrix or the intracellular matrix. So viscosity of the liquid is taken into consideration. The molecular shocks due to the Brownian movement. So there are Brownian motions within the molecules make up the physical environment. The predominant factor are no longer those of our macroscopic scale. We have come to the edge of a world of which we have no experience, where all our preconceptions must be recast. That is, we need to search for certain rules which are valid in this nanometer domain and not in the macroscopic world. There comes new principles and new concepts and new technological advancements that are required in this particular field nowadays. Now, forces on molecular motors comprises of random thermal forces and viscous forces. Why we are talking about force? That's why. Why we are talking about force? Because these motors, when they are working on some substrate, that is a microtubule ball, or whatever it is, when they are sitting on the track, they are applying some kind of force on it, right? So whenever we are sitting on a table or a chair, we are applying some kind of force, and the reaction force is also acting in the opposite direction. So similarly here also, whenever a motor is sitting on the track, a reverse reaction force is also acting over here. So we call those forces, if we can categorize these forces into random thermal forces or some viscous forces. So random thermal forces due to the bombardment by water molecules, because these all these proteins and everything is inside water, right? So this is a Brownian type of motion. That means the laws of diffusion or simple Brownian laws of motions will be valid. And viscous forces, money, Reynolds numbers, those concepts we have studied in our physics. Reynolds number, viscosity, those things, the same laws will be valid over here. So what is the mechanism of energy transduction? So how the energy is getting converted from one form to the other form, right? So here, just like the concept of engines, we have studied engines in our lower classes. You have power stroke, We are not going into the details সেটা syllabus নেই, আমি just বলে দিচ্ছি in order to try draw the analogy here also how the machines are working. As you can see, it is sitting over some receptor, and we have a kind of interaction between uh, a motor as a machine over here, and how the conformational changes in the protein is occurring. So you have a power stroke, you have a Brownian ratchet. These two kinds of motions can occur whenever a motor protein is interacting on the track, right? So you can see there are two states, state 1, state 2, which is nothing but a conformational flip that is taking place. These things we have already studied, but here we are studying it in a different aspect, because there is a conformational switch whenever it is in a bound state and whenever it is in a free state. So that difference, or the kind of motion between these proteins in its bound and unbound state, that is the main focus. So power stroke input energy drives the motor forward, and Brownian ratchet হচ্ছে random Brownian force tends to move rotor both forward and backward direction. So Brownian ratchet is a kind of movement that is being involved in cilia flagella kind of motion, যেটা কিনা this kind of force is mainly involved over there, that helps the microorganism to move forward or backward accordingly. Just by changing the direction of the force, they can have modulated movement in there when they, whenever wherever they are present, right? So Brownian motor operates by converting random thermal energy of the surrounding media into mechanical work. So we will be talking about the kind of motion or physics behind the kind of motion they are performing. So here you can see over here how the Rashid and Paul device is working in a macroscopic world, and from here researchers have taken analogy and they have applied the concepts in the microscopic level also. So why are the porters processive? That is, how does a porter, that is the proteins that we are talking about, porter মানে হচ্ছে the motor proteins that are carrying the cargo. So how does a porter cover a long distance without getting detached from the track? So it may we may think that while carrying the cargo from one place to another, you have seen just now the animation. There, the motor proteins are able to carry a cargo which is much greater than its size, right? So it is able to carry a vesicle from one part to the other part, but which is very much bigger. And in the process, it may happen that mistakenly it just falls off the track. So how it does never happen? How it can occur? So answer is the fuel burning or the ATP hydrolysis by the two heads of a two-headed kinesin. I showed you the cartoon over where kinesin structure was there. You can see the two heads of the kinesin that was basically holding the cargo. So the fuel burning by the two heads of the two-headed kinesin are coordinated in such a way that at least one remains attached when the other steps ahead. Okay, so whenever it is an energy driven process, whenever the ATP hydrolysis is taking place, it is providing the energy to walk forward. So whenever one tail portion is basically approaching in the forward direction, the next is remaining attached. So it is completely a art of balance that is being that is being adapted by nature. While it is carrying a tremendous amount of load on its head, the tail region is basically being maintained by ATP hydrolysis. ATP provides the necessary balance so that the cargo does not fall off. Okay, so when one tail is attached to the tubule, the other tail portion or we call it as a leg portion, it is basically freely floating over the in the sample or in the what you call in the liquid media, right? Where was that? You can see it's carrying some kind of load on its head, right? So you can see it's only one tail portion that is remaining attached to the microtubule at a time, and the other tail is moving forward direction, in the forward direction. So this is how, and this balance is basically being provided by the ATP hydrolysis. So this is how the entire thing was deciphered, and that's why this particular paper was published in Science. Okay, it's a very good journal. Membrane associated rotary protons. As you can see over here, viral DNA packaging machine. Here also you get to see the fuel is the ATP. So with the help of ATP, every supply concern regarding the energy supply is being taken care of. You can see over here, the machine consists of 10 nanometer diameter ring of RNA molecule, 10 nanometer ring of RNA molecule sandwiched between two protein rings. The rotation of the ring pulls the DNA just as a rotating nut can pull in a boat. And the pressure that is being generated is around 60 atmospheric pressure. So we mainly talk about 10 we are talking about a pressure that is 10 times the pressure in a champagne bottle. The packaging motor can generate a force large enough to withstand this process. So this is another viral motor protein that is associated in the discharge or of the genomic or the gene content into its surrounding media. So this is how these proteins or these machines are performing their function. So this picture is also well known to you. As you can see over here, this is a diagram of other rotary motors that are acting within bacteria, flagellar motor that is doing this work. They are a very complex assembly of various proteins. এই structures গুলো এগুলো তো তোরা জানিস নিশ্চয়ই, peptidoglycan, এখানে p ring, l ring, this detailed structure you have studied over here. So this is a kind of rotary motor that is also an example where you can see mechanobiology principles are being applied over here, how the flagella is helping in the motion of bacteria in moving forward or in moving backward depending on the response or the stimuli that it is getting. So overall molecular machines meet the concept of physics, chemistry, cell molecular biology, nanotechnology. Every concepts are required to solve certain questions of mechanobiology. So combination of powerful techniques from several disciplines has already provided some insight, but still majority of the questions are still not solved. So does life provide us with a model of nanotechnology that we should try and emulate as life's soft machines? So this is a brief introduction about mechanobiology. We will be talking about more of these kinds of motor proteins or the molecular motors in our next class. Attendance go back. এই মডিউলটা কিন্তু তোদের একটু কঠিন, আগেই বলে দিচ্ছি। একদমই নতুন, সেরকম মেটেরিয়ালও পাবি না। Full one.
Present, ma'am.